need to step it up here if they hope to remain at World 2025.
As we jump into our Champion Select powered by Omen HyperX, let's have a look at where the bans fall. We are in Fearless. Wukong going to get removed by Mcoy. Annie, they are on the red side this time. They got to elect their side because they lost game 1. Talia and Rumble taken away by Team Secret Wales.
Okay, so I assume we're going to get a Zir ban still since, okay, yeah, no trades for it. Question then being, what are they going to pressure for Jojo? Jojo loves Ryze as well, and has been pretty popular, at least at the beginning of the tournament, although did lose a lot of games. Looking at the jungle, trying to whittle that one down as well.
We did get the Qiyana ban from Mcoy in the last game, respecting Hizto's pressure on that, so I'm curious if they continue with that, or whether you want to just allow some of these bigger power picks through, but the Aurora are going to be banned away.
Yeah, Aurora is something that Dyer really likes to bring out. Played it in 2 of his first 4 games here at Worlds. So taking that away once again from MKOI, getting rid of the Annie. Dyer now, it's already used the Galio. The Orianna's off the board. Ari really is his last option of his most played. But Ryze, as you said, Kobe still reigns eternal. Cassio, the pick into it. Well known as a counter pick, although I think there's debate as to how good it is. Qiyana for Elyoya. It's expected if you think about the player, but I won't say Mcoy have been a huge Qiyana team recently.
I mean, he did end up getting the win on it against Fnatic in the first game of their series, and I mean, we have seen him played in the LEC as well. Got a big lead, wasn't able to close out that game in a win, but still a pick that enables Elyoya to play hyper-aggressive, and I expect Alvaro to try and bring in something that's very aggressive in his own right that can roam and support Elyoya on these pick plays in the early stages.
And I want to see what side lanes TSW want to go with this Ryze comp that they are building here really early on. They're going to grab this into the Qiyana, see if they can try and push that one out. But is it actually going to be, you know, early AD carry pick here? Or are they going to try and grab one of these primo engaged supports?
And Neeko is still available, one of the most picked or banned here at Worlds so far. Locked in for Team Secret Wales. Not something we see Taki on too often. It's about his 4th, tied 3rd most picks, so has about 4 games on it so far in summer 2015. Into that, Mcoy looking to see if they want to pick their support here. You could go AD carry and then ban out a couple of AD carries to get yourself a slightly better matchup down towards that bottom side. Well, Supa was struggling in game 1, so looks like it is going to be support. There's something that can bind picks like you were talking about, Rob.
Yeah, and just works very, very well with the Qiyana and being able to set her up for some of these plays. And also, again, like at the moment, what you're seeing on Team Secret Wales is, hey, Xin Zhao wants to jump in, Neeko wants to get in very, very close. So you've now got these plays with the Cassiopeia and the Rakan to try and disrupt that, which I think is a good call here from Mcoy. But they weren't able to disrupt that engage from Team Secret Wales in the last one. So I have to see how they want to round out their composition on comfort to try and fight back here.
And bottom lane was a huge story. I mean, it was basically the story of the whole game in the previous one. So you have to respect Eddie here. You know, Kaisa, his most played, really big one for him. And Mcoy trying to whittle down since he was the carry for the team.
I still think like things like the Ezreal and that are going to be fine here, unless that is going to be the last ban here for Mcoy, or even honestly something like the Caitlyn. I think you've got on Mcoy something that really likes to play on short range engages, so either of those picks going to work fairly well in just being able to poke from afar, keep themselves safe, and keep them at a harm's length from things like the Cassiopeia and this Qiyana ult.
You could even look for something like a Jhin. It's something Eddie is relatively comfortable on, and you do have that ability to play from long range, pop Blossom or even Curse and Call for the initiation, get a couple of slows, pop Blossom follow-up. You also have the option of realm warping that Neeko onto the backline, that Ryze Blossom combination we've seen a couple of times. Kasante and Xayah bound away by Team Secret Wales. Ezreal locked in for Mcoy. They want that safety for their AD carry.
Yeah, I think the mobility for your carries is at a premium right now, looking at the engage that you're playing against. So taking away the Ezreal from Team Secret Wales pretty early on, but see if we do get that pushing lane on bottom side. Again, you know, a Caitlyn lane for a heavy pushing early on with the Neeko is huge priority. If you compound that with a Ryze, definitely opens up a lot of options for you in the mid game.
The thing I really like about Caitlyn and Qiyana as well is that you basically get to dictate where Qiyana can walk in around those objective fights, where Qiyana is so strong. So if you can set up that zone of control with the traps, it can make it a little bit difficult for the Qiyana to find access into these fights. So from Team Secret Wales perspective, you've got, as you say, great pushing lane on bot side, a strong or a decent mid lane. Cassiopeia will eventually be able to win that. And now with the Renekton, with that Cassante band away, there aren't maybe something like an hour here for Myrwn in that top side, or is this finally where we get to see Myrwn go for something a little bit spicier?
You look at MKOI's lineup, you're like, it's really not that tanky. If they're ever caught out, they are just going to be bursted down by Team Secret Wales. See, and there's the tank, there's the Ornn, gives you a bit of long-range engage as well, follow-up for the Rakan if he goes in, or even initiation with that call of the Forge God. And gives you okay scaling with the ornaments that you can pick up later on.
I mean, certainly, yeah. He's picking for comp for sure right here, being the last piece to the puzzle for those team fights. The long-range engage, Ornn plus Qiyana is kind of terrifying in itself, and if you have good Rakan flanks, the engage looks intense from Mcoy. So Myrwn kind of being a real team player here, locking in the Ornn for them.
And I think that's where, if you're a Team Secret Wales, you are looking to play through these exceptionally strong side lanes. The Renekton should have control in the early stages, same with this Caitlyn Neeko, and that's where you can try and set up this early game through plays, through being able to dictate the pace around the map, and honestly, prevent Qiyana from going from invades. It's one of the things Qiyana likes to do, is get into the face of the enemy jungler, see if she can find these picks. But if you are losing control on those side lanes, and as we get to the mid game on the mid wave, thanks to this Caitlyn, finding those plays becomes a little bit more difficult for the for Elyoya's Qiyana.
He is very experienced on it, even if it's not something we've seen him play too much recently. 10-2 all-time on this Qiyana. When he came into the league, he was this explosive jungler. Alongside Razork, they were the new kids on the block who really liked to play through that early game. For Mcoy, they need some of that magic from Elyoya, this guy that has been with the team for so many years, has made 5 worlds in a row, has gone through trials and tribulations, rebuilt the team in 2024 around him, added Jojo in this year. For Mcoy, you're looking at a long road back into Worlds. For Team Secret Wales, you're looking at 2-2. You're looking at knocking out Mcoy once again from that LCP region as we get into Game 2.
I see a support up in top lane. Taki here gonna sweep out the lane swap ward. See if they do any sort of resets here. You see the recall channeling start here from Supa. Now they're kind of guessing.
I think it's a great fake though. They send the support topside, and look at the resets coming through from Mcoy. They want to try and match now the Ezreal into that top side, but Caitlyn is stuck around the bottom lane. And the bot side is much weaker when it comes towards holding out. It's one of the changes that we had to try and stop these lane swaps. So it means Ezreal now going to have a hard time pushing, harder time taking tower, and the Caitlyn is still down here into a great matchup.
Caitlyn will be picking up a lot of drops from those plates in the early game. And a reminder that drops are active all worlds long. So be sure to log into your accounts at lolesports.com for a chance at earning some digital loot. Can't promise you extra gold in your games, but there are, emotes and such that you can pick up. So we see Daya and Jojopyun matching up in this mid lane. The Cassio into Ryze, a counter we've seen for quite a while. The idea that you can chase him down, the Twin Fangs healing as well, working out quite well for you. But hasn't always worked as effectively as people tell me it does on paper.
Yeah, and Miasma pretty good for later into this comp as well. Sometimes you can be a champion that punishes Xin quite well on top of that. Jojo, of course, plays this matchup super aggressively, always looking for the early, combat power there. Ezreal versus Renekton, though, Supa should be able to get some early harassment down and push Pun back. He's doing a good job landing the Mystic shots here, applying that aggression versus the range versus melee matchup on the top side. Same thing down here, trying to soak, though, Alvaro and Myrwn. See if they can scrape together any sort of CS for him.
At the moment, though, as you say, it's going to be Eddie just able to hit her alongside Taki onto the turrets, and this is going to work out fairly well for themselves as they can just continue to whittle this down. And in this position, this is kind of what you want for your Caitlyn, where she can just snowball off of the goal. She's going to pick up early and also open up potential invades on these next camp spawning if you want to for the Xin Zhao.
Yeah, going to see how much the payment is going to be for the bot side turret plates. And as you say, since Xin is finishing on the bottom side, you also have to worry about how low you're getting as far as the dive. So even though you are Ornn, are a tank, Don't want to get too low here, and every little bit of extra harassment. We are going to see the Rakan move from Alvaro, of course, towards mid lane.
Jumps onto Dyer, who flashes away immediately. Gleam and Quill for a little bit of healing there onto Jojo.
Neeko did end up taking the cannon minion here, so I wonder if Team Secret Wales are setting up for a dive onto Myrwn in this bottom side. He's gone incredibly low, and again, you have that opportunity to turn into that cannon minion and tank that turret for days. It looks like that's exactly what Team Secret Wales want to try and do now.
He's going to build himself a cloth armor with that passive. Plate almost down. Taki stepping forward, looking for the blooming burst damage. Doesn't quite connect. Hizto coming in. Myrwn beginning to back off. Has popped a potion. As that Doran shield as well, while in the mid lane, the catch! It's Qiyana with Burst Blood. Elyoya will get it. The dive on the bot side, it's enough. Great tanking from Taki with the cannon. Good spot there, Dagda.
Yeah, really nice job on the bottom side, but Mcoy able to fight back in the mid lane, playing around the lockdown from Jojopyun and an early kill for Elyoya. At least it's something back for Mcoy.
Yep, getting some gold back there is going to be a very, very slight lead over to TSW, almost negligible. It's going to be about where the gold did go, and you know, Xin getting kill credit and Qiyana getting kill credit. If you see a Qiyana get early lethality items here, that can be devastating. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah, it looks like, though, actually, it's another little bit of a lead to Elyoya, thanks to being able to get both Scuttle Crabs as well. Now moving back in towards jungle, he clears his bottom side, will reset and be able to move back into his top side as it starts to respawn. So for Elyoya, nice little lead, and should have, as you say, Kobe, that nice back for himself so we can spend some of that gold.
Does mean, of course, Ryze no flash for a long time as well. And if Jojo can continue to pressure in mid lane, well, looks like we might have junglers meeting up at the Raptor attempt.
Hizto not going to go for the Razor,
Not seen.
instead going towards that mid lane. Jojo doesn't have the flash. Dyer doesn't have one either. Hizto looking for the Q3 knock-up here. We'll be able to get the chase continues with that Rune Prison, an overload, an auto needed. Hizto takes it. Red buff, the buff that secures it there for Team Secret Wales.
Nice counter there. Hizto gets back in towards mid lane to even up a bit. I mean, the offensively blown flashes can be punished just as much as the defensively blown ones.
And this is the problem with Elyoya sticking out on the map so long. He hasn't actually got to reset to match the early back, so didn't have the damage when it came towards matching that gank in the mid lane. Really nice timing window from Hizto.
Yeah, Hizto a little bit behind on the camps because of it, and Elyoya keeping up the farm, but doing that work and actually getting the kill credit does mean the gold will be close.
Pun hits 6 here, chasing Myrwn out of that top side, has about a 15 CS lead as he's holding that wave. He's actually just tanking the tower. With Myrwn not being level 6, there's no threat of a Call of the Forge God. You still have Flash as well for Pun, and by holding that wave where it is, it's going to push slowly towards Pun.
Yeah, and since Pun has his level 6, the Renekton all-in is really threatening. Even though you get low, Renekton is below 50%, then you get a lot of this extra Fury generation, and you're even more threatening. So pulled the wave a little bit.
Myrwn does have the Bramble Vest, though.
Flash away from Myrwn. As you say, Myrwn did build that Bramble Vest, but it's a flash for Flash and the ultimate out of Pun.
Good play there from Pun, getting the flash, denying more CS. Really like the use of this extra level advantage.
And for Myrwn, using the Bellows Breath there, which is your ability to avoid the Ruthless Predator stun right in the face of the guy that wants to jump in as Jojo is the target. Petrifying Gaze will get the stun onto Dyer, and Taki doesn't really have the damage to follow up. So in the end, Jojo just uses his ultimate and is able to slither his way away.
I mean, that's a huge Petrifying ult to keep himself safe, but also a nice ultimate to burn at these early stages, especially looking at things like Dragon up, you've got that Void Grubs that are about to spawn as well. I think Jojopyun should have his ultimate back up in time, but still, I like this proactivity from Team Secret Wales in the early stages.
Pun arriving in time for the minion wave as well, collects it even with the slow traveling teleport, gets there with open arms, and so this is working out so well for TSW. I mean, sending Taki in the level 1 up top side with the sweeper to sweep out the lane swap detection ward, making Mcoy guess, resulting in the early game lead for themselves. The other thing that has been a big contributing factor to that lead, of course, have been the movements from Taki on the Neeko. and applying the extra pressure towards mid lane to put the balance back the other way.
Just leads across the board for Team Secret Wales. 700 gold between that Renekton and Ornn. 400 between the AD carries, and Eddie, most of that is just off taking plates. You can see the CS is equal. Obviously, there's an extra assist for Eddie, but he's in such a strong position to just push Supa back using that serrated dirt. Grub started by TSW as they force Mcoy back into their jungle.
Elyoya having that supreme display of talent, though, could be massive at some of these objective fights, and that's realistically what you're trying to wait on for this jungler, so then you can actually be a focus in these fights. Jojo still trying to get trade against Dire, but Team Secret Wales push on top, happily taking these void grubs with a little contest coming through here.
This is so big for TSW. If you get all three, I mean, the split push with the Ryze later on is going to be a very potent tool.
And the Caitlyn right now.
And the Renekton right now.
And immediately. With all of the turret plate money that they have been able to earn, looks like they will be able to continue it. I mean, Caitlyn plus Neeko is going to be threatening no matter where it is on the map.
TSW will be really happy with how this early game's gone. With five players who are so young. The new generation of the LCP showing up so well here at this Worlds, constantly putting the pressure onto Mcoy. And I did wonder with the addition of Pun in this series whether or not they'd have the same impact that they can have with Hero, but they are constantly putting the pressure down, and Pun has had a really good series so far.
Yeah, especially his side lane play here. His part in the lane swaps, you know, controlling these minion waves, applying that extra pressure to Myrwn, has resulted in their biggest advantage.
Yeah, and you wouldn't expect Team Secret Wales with the way they're playing to be so many rookies when it comes to appearances on a world stage. Like, Taki's the only one that's been here, but Hizto has looked absolutely fantastic. Eddie is popping off, and it feels incredible to see these guys perform at the level that I think a lot of people are often surprised by when you see like newer teams coming up from the LCP region.
I think it's one of those things where you just you have to reframe your expectations around the LCP. CFO have proven it to us at First Stand, they've proven it to us at MSI, and now Team Secret Wales are proving it's not just a one-team region either. The entirety of the LCP continues to level up.
Look at this flank. Pun is behind Supa at the moment. Does get the cleanse out. Just going to end at that, though.
And Taki looking for a flank here. No vision for Mcoy in their red side jungle. There's a ward in that tri-bush, but Elyoya, he's flanked. Hizto stepping forward. They don't know. Taki's here. Pop Blossom. The Blast Cone available. Supreme Display of Talent will get the double stun, and the Blast Cone out by Elyoya gets him to safety.
But it keeps everyone topside for Team Secret Wales, and Myrwn, he's all on his lonesome. No wave will be his saving grace here. Team Secret Wales won't be able to look for the dive, but that wave is coming, and Myrwn, I think you got to try and get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, TSW hard winning both side lanes at the moment because you just had Pun on the bottom side also pushing out the Ezreal, and so they just continue their onslaught on the towers. Even if you don't go for dives, go for kills, you get guaranteed money here. Value from the grubs, value from these turret plates.
And I think the only thing that Team Secret Wales aren't getting that I would like to see them get is the Dragon. Like, it is still sitting there. We're 11 minutes into the game. That could be a way for you to force fights a little bit earlier in the game, because Cassiopeia scaling is insane. This Ornn going to add a lot of help in that later portion of the game as well, but still, they're getting so much gold.
Call of the Forge got used by Myrwn just to clear out the wave here. Doesn't kill off all the minions, though. There's a couple of casters still there. Hizto diving in onto Myrwn, who does have the flash. Ace in the hole is going to connect onto him, and Hizto looks for the chase. Meanwhile, on the bot side, Pun surviving. There's no dive materializes for Mcoy. A kill, and what will be a tower for Team Secret Wales on the top side.
Patience from Hizto on the knock-up was crucial there. Waited for the Bellows Breath to come in when Myrwn trying to time it, and ends up catching him the second that Flame Breath is gone. And now Eddie, we talked about it, this pushing Caitlyn with those 3 void grubs, getting work done in the side lanes.
Meanwhile, Pun on the bottom side, nice job from him as well. He ults, he dodges the Rakan knock-up, just clears out the wave, is able to hold on the bottom side. So the payment is the Dragon. Mcoy, though, very far down in gold, and they return to this bottom side.
Something I love about Team Secret Wales as well is like now they're 2,500 gold ahead, 12 minutes in. They lost to a KT comp that did a very similar thing to what they're doing right now. They lost to Dagda's Caitlyn. They just got pushed out of every lane in the early game. Here, we haven't seen Caitlyn for Eddie at at all this summer. And now they've adapted, they picked it up, and they said, okay, we can do that too. We can learn, we can grow here at Worlds.
And when you try and put a stop to this Caitlyn, it's a Ghost Flash Caitlyn. So a lot of mobility here to try and avoid this engage that we really highlighted in Champ Select for Mcoy. And we'll see if Eddie can be a big player in this game as well.
And it's this very similar story to what we saw in the last game, where you have a lot of beefy boys, or maybe not so much, but that can sit in front of you and just deny access to this Caitlyn. Like Taki, you got Hizto with the ultimate, same when you look at Pun.
I love that when their wave is a cannon wave and my wave isn't.
Odd.
Very suspicious.
Look, I'm not going to say you should definitely always know what's happening there, because I've seen enough pro players not understand what's happening.
Free cannon, nice.
Extra gold.
My lucky day.
Free cannon.
Bottom side, though, yeah, still going to be able to defend, still going to be able to hold it here. And we're going to see the continued push from TSW. Now we're going to have a possible rotation over towards mid lane, but the long extended lane on top side, too, should be Pun favored. He's got his Black Cleaver done, so Renekton can continue to get the early push.
Pun with a 2-level lead over Myrwn, pops the Dominus and looks for the chase. Slice and dice forward, Myrwn having to use the flash to get away. Do it, Pun! Curl the weak! Pun finds it, now he's going to get collapsed on by the rest of Mcoy with a TP coming in, but they have to invest so much to kill off this Croc.
It's about sending that message, you know. He has domination in the side lane, gets the kill on Myrwn, invests his flash to do it as well.
But it's completely worth, because look at the bot side. You've got the Ryze pushing in there, you've the Caitlyn that's shoved in mid, and because Mcoy, everyone went to go and deal with the Croc, the rest of Team Secret Wales are succeeding.
100%. It's about keeping up the pressure on all sides of the map at once. So if they teleport up there, if they try and trap you after you go for your kill, there will be further payment across the map. And this is solo tower gold to a Ryze.
And now if you're Mcoy, you're looking at this 14.5 minutes in, 3,000 gold in the hole, a 2-level disadvantage in the top side. The enemy AD carry, although slightly behind in XP, is 1,000 gold ahead as well. You're preying on mistakes. That's what you have to do here as Mcoy. You're praying you can somehow get to 3 items, maybe to 4 on this Cassio, on this Ezreal, and then get those ornaments starting to come out. Because right now, Team Secret Wales are running the map.
But it's Mcoy who will be kicking themselves for their own mistakes. This was a team that over the course of the whole year wanted to grow. We're talking about how at each international they made it to, they were learning, they were trying to find new ways to approach their style of gameplay, but it was supposed to culminate in Worlds. And that's just not what we're getting to see right now for Mcoy. Sitting here, already a game down in a valley when it comes to this game, and now they've got to find a miracle at this Rift Herald.
They're kind of trapping themselves inside the river. That's a very dangerous predicament to put yourselves in at the moment. Ryze has teleport, and so TSW can apply pressure just by waiting. Have Ryze continue to push out on bottom side. They chase Mcoy out of the river, out of the dangerous spot, and they will be able to take it.
Yep, they just force Mcoy out. They have total vision control around here to Team Secret Wales, and they'll take the Herald 16 minutes in. Next Drake a minute away. Let's see if Team Secret Wales want to go for that. I expect this Herald to be used around the mid-tier 1 just to crack open that entirety of the tier 1 towers from Mcoy.
Yeah, especially when the dragon is about to spawn, and if Mcoy even try and contest, it's your mid-tower gone, potentially a tier 2 gone, and suddenly this map becomes a little bit less likely for Mcoy to be able to enter it. It's Team Secret Wales with such a commanding chokehold on this game. You can see Alvaro trying to set up this deep vision, but does get spotted out. Looking for a pick, looking for a moment, but it looks like he might actually find himself caught a little bit. Doesn't look like Team Secret Wales are interested in the bird though.
Eddie chunked out a little bit with that True Shot Barrage coming out from Supa, but he is in a fine position with the Collector completed. Pun trading onto Myrwn once again. Black Cleaver complete helps a huge amount getting through the Chain Vest and the Bramble Vest on Myrwn. Rift Herald being put down as the Dragon does come up, so we'll try and see if TSW decide to go for the all-out push through mid, or if this is just about prio, making sure you get a charge in and then gain control of the bot side river.
Yep, guarantee the charge here. And again, if they can move Eddie into the river early to set down the trap line, that's hugely beneficial for the approach to Dragon. But he's currently pushing out that mid wave, kind of catching it from the 3 members of Mcoy. So it's going to be a bit of a retake situation. Mcoy grabbing the Scuttle Crab first.
Yeah, ideally you would have liked to have trapped Mcoy before they can get out of their own jungle in this choke point right here, but Mcoy retreating Supa.
Swarking shift across the wall there, was holding on to it for a long time. Team Secret Wales will regain control of the bot side river. Mcoy trying to step back up, trying to get a little bit of vision control for themselves. That Neeko clone doing a lot of work as it disappears out of the bush. And this is a little more tentative than I would like from TSW. I think they're in a stronger position than perhaps they are playing right now. But I can also understand trying to avoid the quickness and the supreme display of talent combination that can come out from Mcoy.
The only thing I can imagine is that Eddie's incredibly close to his Infinity Edge, and I think they might be waiting for him to try and finish that, which is why he's getting so much of this farm in the mid lane. So he's going for the reset now. I think he's just about to finish it, and then they can look for it. But it has given a window now for Mcoy to actually be able to play for it, and the interrupt as well. This should be Dragon here for Mcoy.
Yeah, also TSW aren't the ones, trying to focus on stacking the dragons for this game. They want to play side lanes here and then index heavily into gold. Mcoy, as you say, are going to be able to pick up number 2. And we'll see about the pressure applied in the side lanes by Pun as well as Dire on the top side. Pun is fine with 2 low damage champions on his side of the map. Rakan and an Ornn in no world ever take down that Renekton.
I don't think he's too worried. It's the Infinity Edge there for Eddie, so we're waiting for that. Taki looking for the flank onto Supa, who has the cleanse and doesn't use it even though he's rooted. And the ace in the hole will take him down to about half HP, or 2/3.
But Team Secret Wales are setting up their highway through that topside jungle, which is trying to focus on this mid lane tower. And you can see everyone in Mcoy, they're trying to look for the cross map, knowing that their mid lane tower is about to go down. But this only opens up the potential shift onto mid turret into top turret.
I think that is indicative of the most impressive thing I've noticed with Team Secret Wales over the last couple of days. Their willingness to step back on a side lane. Dire now beginning to step back up as he tries to clear out the wave. Elyoya waited, miasma down, Petrifying Gaze coming out as well. This is Supreme Display talent, and that's a cast to curse if I've ever heard one. TP comes out from Pun, but his mid lane is already dead. Alvaro trying to get away, cleanses out, and the wind becomes lightning slow.
Yeah, good attack on the side lane there from Mcoy, trying to, take down one of the pushing prongs of this team. Ryze had backed off. Dire was like, all right, I'm weak side. I know, I got to back off for a little bit. But Elyoya kept up with the play, stayed down there. So once Dire returns to the tower, they do get their dive off. Their mid lane, of course, the outer tower went down pretty early, and the secondary one sustained a little bit of damage. But Mcoy kind of riding the line at the moment.
I do think there is a window now where Mcoy can just say, right, we're hands off on the dragons and we are just going to collect waves and side lanes. Like 2 items now for Jojopyun, he will be very strong as he starts to approach his third. And you've still got this Ornn, you're starting to hit points for Supa. Like, this is a game that is very much in control of Team Secret Wales, but the late game is incredibly strong if Mcoy can find their fights.
The team fighting from this team has the potential to be explosive. Again, the engage that we highlighted in Champion Select is there. The burst damage from Qiyana. Well, the burst damage from Caitlyn. Actually.
Infinity Edge, get the ace in the hole down as well. Elyoya forced all the way back. About 30% HP. I will note Mcoy about 21 petals to 9 here. With the outgun being started by Dire, but I don't really think he's looking for it. We saw this similarly in game 1 as Taki's caught out a little bit.
Well, I do kind of
walk away. True Shot Rush comes out. Taki's almost down. Ooh, the Mystic Shot blocked. He goes just wide. Call of the Forge God. Taki flashes. Crescent Guard used by Hizto as well. He has a blast going to get out, and he will utilize that escape tool.
Ooh, what can Mcoy do with this timer? They know they've forced out the Neeko, but it looks like not going to get hasty with it.
But that's bizarre. Like, honestly, at this point, you should be looking for something. Like, Pun should not be able to clear out that top wave. You could be putting pressure onto Adakan, but instead Mcoy kind of sitting on their laurels and saying, hey, we're just happy to farm up. I think this was a moment where Mcoy could have got something back for themselves.
I wonder if the risk of how quickly Team Secret Wales can get back to the Adakan is always there. You've got the Realm Warp, the Ryze. Like, Hizto had stayed around so he can always steal. Pun still has his Dominus. I agree with you. Like, you want to see Mcoy, if you're a European fan, looking at that moment and saying, what can we get out of this? But in the end, just a couple of waves were their prize.
And they're looking for their scaling to continue. One more stack for the Rod of Ages for Jojo. Ornn going to start upgrading some items fairly soon as well. So they're definitely invested in the long term.
Elyoya jumping forward here with Mcoy trying to control the vision around a soon-to-be spawning Scuttle Crab. I'll try and take that for Elyoya, who He's been able to keep up with farm on this Qiyana.
Good interrupt, honestly, because TSW, again, they need to leverage the split push. Keep your Ryze applying pressure on the opposite side of the map from the Otacon. So keep the split push up. He's got his teleport. They can threaten trap plays.
Hizto jumps onto Alvaro. Elyoya on that front line. TP coming behind from the Ryze here. Crescent Guard, super display of talent coming out as well. As Hizto dives onto Alvaro. Pop Blossom not finding anyone. A 3-man petrifying gaze as Jojo begins to turn on the Twin Fangs. Dire on the flank. Mcoy 5v4 in their favor as Dire begins to walk away with that phase rush. Supa having to flash out. Call of the Forge Rod coming out as well. Ace in the hole. Not blocked. Supa down. The sniper finds his man as Eddie gets one. But Team Secret Wales have lost 2 in the fight. 3 so far, in fact, as we see Pun falling. Elyoya, Alvaro, and Jojo on the chase. Dire all on his lonesome, caught out by Mcoy. They'll find a 4-for-1 somehow.
And now they will get the Otacon. Mcoy fight their way out of it. TSW, they called their play. They teleport the Ryze in, but Mcoy fight it out through the river, and they're going to get the rewards.
And this is where it's now terrifying because Mcoy are winning fights and they've got the dragons, but it's this play as Taki tries to go for the setup here, but Elyoya ends up getting the play. Now watch Jojo as Team Secret Wales goes for the turn, gets this huge flash, petrifying gaze, which prevents Team Secret Wales from doing anything. Eddie's now too low to really follow up, and even though it's Dire and Pun on the flanks, sure, they end up picking off Supa thanks to long-range Caitlyn ultimate, but Jojo is running amok in this fight, and he's the damage dealer that Mcoy have.
And Alvaro with some big setup work there as well on the Rakan, locking them up. Charm, knock-up combo. Mcoy, see what they can do afterwards, because that basically deleted the gold lead there in addition to all those petals they already had, Medic. Now those are empowered petals.
The one thing, though, is that at least Team Secret Wales, as we were watching the replay, did get the dragon. So at least preventing that from going across to Mcoy and a third dragon going across. So it will be a little bit of time before Mcoy can stack that. But again, this is what we're talking about. Mcoy's late game is nothing to sniff at. And now they're starting to find fights. They're getting gold onto Jojo, who is a very, very scary carry. And I think for Team Secret Wales, not quite yet, but they are certainly starting to go into the back foot.
Jojo at 3 items, 2,500 gold ahead, has the upgraded Ryze scepter via those Ornn upgrades. And for Team Secret Wales, you're looking at like 2,500 gold that just evaporated in a single team fight. You do still have the tools. You still have a big Caitlyn, 3 items on him. You still have Ryze trying to scale up, but it becomes trickier and trickier as this game goes on.
And that's the key. It is hard to operate in the side lanes. It is hard to operate, pushing and overextending because of the range of Mcoy's engage that can come at you from so many angles. With Rakan as well as Ornn, it is very dangerous on the map for them. So Mcoy, I feel like they just have way more useful tools in the game now looking forward. Since we're past 25 minutes, their team fight is insane. Their ability to pick you off.
Elyoya jumping in with the audacity. Dire's going to try and get out with the Realm Whip here, but the quickness and the miasma for the grounded effect. Mcoy find their man in the side lane with TP coming in. The wave not quite in the position for Mcoy to go for an immediate dive. Team Secret Wales looking to bolster the defenses down towards this bottom side, but Mcoy don't have to go for anything more. Oracle's out a Pun, slices away from the grand entrance.
More about pushing Pun away from that bot side tower so they can pick up that gold, but Mcoy end up getting the kill and a summoner spell from Pun as well. That is perfect now. Taki and Eddie.
Force Guard onto Eddie. Supa, look at the Essence block. The knock-up coming in as well as Supa and Myrwn team up to take down the Kate.
It was looking dire for Mcoy, but by some miracle, they are finding the fights that they need. And maybe, just maybe, they can push us to that game number 3.
Rakan engaged on the bottom side, Ornn engaged in the mid lane, and Mcoy are stacked now. Multiple Ornn upgrades coming through. Elyoya got his as well. Their team fight is insane. So if they just camp out here, they can continue to force TSW into these scary situations. And you're going to have to get some like miracle engage from Taki, on Neeko, dream proto belt flash play from him or something. It is a 3-item, Caitlyn, with the crit multipliers here. So maybe some rapid fire poke does come through. But just past the 25 minutes, it doesn't seem like they're really able to keep up with this side lane pressure or anything for them.
Pun Gonna step forward here. Myrwn waiting for him. Gets the knock at Miasma down as well. No slice, no dice. Ooh. And there's the petrifying gaze. Hun stares into the eyes of Jojo, who takes down his name in his book.
Pick after pick after pick. Mcoy feels like the game is theirs for the taking now.
And you have the Baron sitting there waiting. They're going to try and start it up. Dire will need to TP in to try and stop this, but Jojo, he shreds this thing.
Absolutely melts it. Elyoya and Alvaro there too. Supa trying to see if anyone comes in. Looks like Team Secret Wales have given up the Ghost on the Baron. Instead, they'll try and take a tier 2 on the bot side, and they should be able to secure it with Eddie coming across to help out Dire.
I like this response from Supa. It doesn't actually go towards the Baron. Instead, he goes towards the top turret, answering tit for tat plus the Baron now in favor of Mcoy. And this is exactly what they need to just keep this ball rolling 50 seconds until that potential third dragon for Mcoy.
Redemption used by Alvaro as well to try and keep people around. You can see Mcoy just looking for the knockups. Oh, Realm Warp avoids the call of the Forge Corp, but Mcoy still have 3 players in that mid lane. We'll take another tier 2 off this push.
And what far do they want to chase though? You can see Alvaro is still looking to interrupt these resets, and Jojo and Elyoya could also try and collapse onto the bottom side.
Eddie's still here. Hizto trying to get onto Supa. Doesn't really have the defenses. Jojo stepping forward with that Miasma once again. The Crescent Guard down, TP coming out as Myrwn looks to help out his team. Supreme Decided Talent not going to get any stuns. Team Secret Wales on the back foot. The Mystic Shot's not enough to take down Pun, but now with the tower pushing in, with the minions pushing into the tower. In fact, that will be an inhibitor tower in the mid lane. Eddie trying to flank, not something you often see a Caitlyn do. Looking for the hunt. Elyoya chases him, and Eddie gets him! The shutdown. Elyoya tried to make a fancy play with his flash. Now a TP behind by Team Secret Wales.
It's going absolutely disastrously for Mcoy and Team Secret Wales. They're turning into sharks as they're seeking and hunting for Mcoy. But the mistakes were there, and now Supa
washes in the Mystic Shot wide as Ezzy dances away from it. In the end, Team Secret Wales will just settle for the Drake.
Oh man, Eddie is the TSW hope. This guy is sitting Mcoy down and keeping TSW in the game. That brush play on the side where they kept Dire, he canceled his recall, stayed in the brush, and then flashed onto Alvaro.
Taki steals the blue away as well.
And the thing was, Alvaro gave his life on that bottom side, as actually Supa needs to be careful, but gave his life on the bottom side to stop the resets from Eddie and Dire, so Mcoy could all in with 4 members onto the play underneath the inhibitor turret. But when they couldn't find the play, and Eddie then gets Elyoya, it opens up Team Secret Wales perfectly to get back onto the map and steal that crucial dragon away.
Really nice sequence of Team Secret Wales after the fact as well. They stole away the blue with Hizto, and they managed to secure their own with Taki, so they'll be very happy to not give a blue buff over to either this Cassio or this Ezreal, who are obviously so reliant on having that mana.
Yeah, that is actually truly massive. You know, in the late game when it goes to everybody as well. Now, we're seeing them push top again. We've got Renekton with teleport ready, and Pun is trying to split push.
Quickness, supreme display of talent, and the true shot barrage is a 2-shot barrage. As Mcoy find a couple of kills, they're going to chase onto Eddie as well, who's able to avoid the edge of the knock-up there from Mcoy. Realm Warp out by Dire. Looking to try and get someone to that backline. Pun needs to get back quickly because Mcoy are knocking on the Nexus to even out this series.
Yeah, is that going to be it? With the Baron buff, Mcoy can push in.
There's so little left here for Team Secret Wales. Mcoy see their moment to push us to game number 3.
Pun, Dire, and Eddie. Dire straights for them in this game. Can they defend? Pun goes in, dodges away with the slice and the dice. Pun chipped away at an Mcoy. Are gonna back away. 12 seconds on Hizto. Taki back up. Makes it a 4v5 in Mcoy's favor, but it will just turn their attentions back towards the jungle.
Yeah, the Red Bull Baron power play was next to nothing for Mcoy, and as it fades, they don't have the survivability on their minions to close out that game. It's nice picks, but Team Secret Wales hold on to fight one more time.
Okay, teleport out to the top side to keep up the pressure here. You know, that's the lone inhibitor still remaining for TSW is the top side one. So Mcoy, they reset, they immediately can reapply that pressure. Super minions doing their work in mid and bottom. Looks like Elyoya has another item completion as well. So they'll be slightly delayed on him to join the rest of the push.
He'll be able to come back out now, but with that Edge of Night complete, makes it much trickier to catch him out. 10-2 on this Qiyana all time, looking to make it 11. Zhonya's Void Staff, Seraph's Rylai's Rod of Ages, Dark Seal. 10 stacks on the last 2. As Jojo is in an incredibly powerful position on this Cass. No boots, of course, just in case you were wondering.
He's still stomping, though. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I was very curious.
So Mcoy just denying vision around this jungle, going to take away as much gold as possible in the form of these camps. Elyoya waiting down towards the bottom side of mid to see if he can find a flank position. He's oh, he's not. He's in the bush as that warding trinket does go down. With 2 waves of supers pushing in, you can see a couple of question mark pings coming out from Team Secret Wales. They're aware. They're like, hey, we can't step up easily here.
So I'm pretty sure they did spot Elyoya. That blue ward does give a vision around it, even if you are in the bush. So they were putting question mark pings onto Elyoya, but they're not going to push it anyway. They just need to try and hold on to anything that they can. But Mcoy en masse now on this top side turret. And it's up to Myrwn to escort this minion wave in.
You can see Mcoy actually delaying this. Myrwn waiting to get those last hits on the opposing minions, so the bot wave and the mid waves line up with it properly. Pun trying to defend, but he backs away. The inhibitor tower will go down. Mcoy doing this by the numbers. 3 inhibitor towers, 3 inhibitors, and now a last chance defense for Team Secret Wales.
They're trying desperately here. Can they do it though? Mcoy knocking on the door, and Team Secret Wales.
It's a back away into Baron angle. It's a back away into Baron angle. With the miasma coming down, Mcoy lose one of their tools in the fight, so they will turn their attentions over towards this team-wide Baron buff.
Yeah, honestly, this is an elimination series. It's an elimination game for Mcoy, so they are taking no chances at messing up the final push. They're going to retreat and draw TSW even more difficult situation here, trying to walk towards an Ornn Rakan into a Baron. I mean, it's truly, truly dangerous here for TSW. They kind of just have to full send.
They need to find something. Mcoy are the big bad wolf at the door, and we're trying to find out what Team Secret Wales house is made of, because that Baron buff is going to make it so easy for them to huff and puff and blow it over.
Baron begun by Mcoy, and as soon as you see Dyer stopping his recall on the bot side, you know Team Secret Wales are not going to challenge for this. Mcoy get the Baron. We'll see if this Red Bull Baron power play is slightly more advantageous for them than the last. The inhibitors in every lane down for at least a minute more. Mid spawns first, then bot, then top. But Mcoy will look to end the game in that next minute.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet you that this Baron power play includes a Nexus destruction for Mcoy.
Oh, I'm surprised you put the 4 Mcoy in there.
Yeah, I was like,
it could do. You never know as Mcoy push in with these super minions. Team Secret Wales trying to defend, flash, petrifying gaze into the quickness crescent guard with a good knockback out. The pop blossom coming out as well, but Hizto's already down, and Mcoy all still incredibly healthy. Elyoya diving in for a triple to his name. Pun on the fountain will find one. A quadra, in fact, Supa gets the last, but Mcoy will even out the series 1-1.
Mcoy found the fights that they needed to bring that game back, to keep themselves at World 2025 and give themselves another chance here.
One more game to decide your year. Analysts, how are you feeling?
A little bit better, Kobe, about the chances of Movistar KOI at least, and about the fact that they recovered the game, which actually did not start off in a dream way for them at all. But I'm just happy they're still in it at this point.
I will say I'm on to you because you're like a disappointed parent yelling angrily. You did it with G2 yesterday. Now Mcoy, they do come back a little shaky in the early game. We did see